Shalom, this is Yasin. I figured I'd share a piece of my testimony. So, I used to be a Christian. I believed it with all my heart. I had given my heart to the Most High even before I knew what His real name was. So, over time, when I started coming into the truth, I started reading more, and I had a pull in my spirit to get baptized. So I was going from church to church, trying to find one that would, let me get baptized. And every single church that I went to, it was the same thing over and over again. It was, okay, well, you have to be a member of the church for, 2 to 3 months. And then after that, there's a waiting period. You got to put yourself on a list. And then eventually they'll get to you and get you baptized. Well, the pull I had on my spirit was, as far as I was concerned, way too strong to wait. So I got to a really low point, and I baptized myself at my house in my bathtub. Now, interestingly enough, when I didn't use JC or those words. I just baptized myself in the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. And I didn't notice anything different initially. I felt something was a little off, or different, shall I say, but I couldn't figure out exactly what it was. And I noticed over time I started being more hungry for the Word. I would pick up a Bible more often, and I would sit there and I would just really start digging into the text. And I ended up reading front to back the King James in maybe a matter of 8 months. Front to back, started with New Testament, and then I went and read Psalms and Proverbs, and then I went to the Old Testament and then read it all the way through. So in that period of time, I was really, really trying to get to know Him better. I really, really, really wanted to know Yahuwah's character. I wanted to know who He was, His personality. I just wanted to know. I wanted to know I was on the right path. I wanted to know Him, and so this path of truth ended up leading me 2 to 3 years later. I could get further in depth with this, but it would take up way too much time. After I baptized myself and I started speaking the truth to my co-workers and my family and friends, pretty much everybody I knew, because I was very excited. I really, really, really wanted to share. Well, in turn, because of it, I seen scripture playing out in front of my eyes. I had friends completely write me off, didn't talk to me anymore. I had co-workers teaming up against me to get fired. I was a manager of a salvage yard at this point in time. I had family members that worked with me, and they really, really, really were trying to get rid of me, to the point they wanted me fired. They wanted defamation of character. They tried getting children and youth involved and trying to get my kids taken away, so on and so forth. But so it was a very, very, very hard time for me. But by the grace of Yahuwah, I was able to stand firm and continue to believe in Him and trust in Him and Him only. And I weathered the storm, and I made it through, and I got to the other side, and things are much, much better than they were. But so I started to really dig deep into my feelings as far as really, really, really wanting to know Yahuwah. And mind you, I didn't know His name at this point in time. So I felt this pull in my spirit to start learning the Hebrew, because I wanted to know what His name was in Hebrew, because that was the original language. That was, the name that He presented Himself to His people. So I wanted to know what it was. for the sole purpose of, deepening my connection with him. I got to the point where I could feel his presence. I knew when he was there. I knew when he wasn't. I could hear him from time to time, but it was very, very quiet. And I was still in the point of really starting to kind of zero that in and, be still enough to actually hear when he's talking. And when this started happening, I actually was on my way back to work one day, and I was on road leading to work, and I was driving pretty fast. I was coming back from excuse me, a bank, and I went to go get a change order, and I was coming back to the job, and there was a trash truck that was parked in the side of the road, like in the lane, and I was thinking of going around him, and I just heard a very loud whisper, if that makes any sense. It was very soft but loud, and I heard stop. So I quickly pulled behind the trash truck, and a few seconds later, after I pulled behind that trash truck, there was another car coming the other direction. If I would have ended up passing that truck, I would have hit him head-on collision. I was doing 60. I had no business doing that. And the other car was doing about the same. So, you could guess what would have happened. So, I know for a fact he saved me right then and there at that point in time on that day. Many other times as well, but that day in particular. And I was able to recognize it very quickly. And that really started to deepen my understanding about how he cares for us. So I started, wanting to dig into the Hebrew, wanted to know his name, and it was a really long process. I couldn't quite understand it. I was looking for credible sources, and I really wasn't finding any. And then I eventually stumbled across John Truth, and then after that, I eventually found We the Assembly. Now, after hearing what John Truth had said, I really, wanted to find out if this was correct. So I started digging, and I started to look, and I found, Council of Nicaea, Constantine's Creed, everything he was saying lined up. And so I ended up praying to Yahuwah, and I said, I want to know that what is being said is true. I want to know who you are. Please let me know. I do not want to be the person that you spit out saying, depart from me. I never knew you. It's not something I ever want to hear. And I asked him. And this is when he started to give me confirmations. And so I was really confused, because this was shaking for me. It was everything I thought I knew that I invested in was wrong. I was so confused. I contemplated just completely disregarding the faith, but that was very, very, very short-lived. Yahuwah didn't let that happen. And so it was a few weeks after hearing this, and a friend of mine decided he wanted me to come to this church that he goes to. And I didn't realize at the time that it was a Pentecostal church. Never been to one. Probably going to be the last time I go. And I came in, they greeted me, and, they were nice. And that was one of the main problems I had with a lot of other churches, is that they weren't welcoming. They never appeared to be, how should I say, filled with the Spirit and acting like they should. So I always felt unwelcome, and I would learn that there was a reason for that. So I go to this Pentecostal church, and I go for the service, and somebody that my friend knows that, is involved, we'll say, in there, had me go down to the front row, and I digress. On my way there, I was praying to the Most High, and it was like, should I go? And I heard no, but I ended up going anyway. And I'm not I think the enemy was really trying to get me not to go because of what Yahuwah was going to show me when I was there. And so I'm there at the service, and I'm watching this pastor go through a sermon, and they were really dwelling on, Pentecost, and, when the followers of Yahusha are, were waiting for the Ruach to, envelop them, and, we all know what happened after there. They started speaking in tongues and everything, and, were bestowed with the gifts of the Spirit. And this church was really putting an emphasis on the gift of tongues. Now, even before I found out what the real names were, I understood that the gift of tongues is really the ability for somebody to have that they could speak a language that they originally didn't understand, and every time that it was utilized, there had to be somebody there that was able to interpret. And I see a lot of these churches that claim to be having the gift of tongues, and they're looking like the Kundalini spirit, where with the incoherent mumbling, the shaking, and all of that. So I'm watching this, and this preacher talk, and he's going on about Pentecost, and he's telling the people in the congregation that if they don't have the gift of tongues, not to be discouraged, because yes, the gift of tongues is proof you have the Spirit, and if you don't have the gift of tongues you may not have the Spirit, which and we know that that's a lie, that the gifts of the Spirit are distributed as, Yahuwah and Yahusha see fit. Not one person gets everything, because then man would be able to boast. So he was leaning on the fact that if you didn't have the gift of tongues, you don't have the Spirit. When you get the Spirit, you'll get the gift of tongues, not to be worried about it. And he's just leading these people astray. And I catch this, and I'm watching him, and he's getting ready to call people up for the altar call, to come down and be filled with the Spirit, as he said, which I shouldn't even act like that, but that's what he did. And so I'm watching what he's doing, and right before he calls everybody down, I see him hunch over like this over, the pedestal or pew, whatever you want to call it, the thing that he had, the book on. And as I see him hunch over, I end up seeing a disembodied black figure that had almost the same profile as him, but was 3 times as large. Now, it was only present for about 5 seconds. I know I seen it, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's seen it. And after this, I'm going to call it what it is. After this spirit disappeared, he started acting very aggressive, and very, his demeanor completely changed. He was becoming way more hostile. And once that demeanor fell on him, and he just started pacing back and forth on the stage, just going back and forth, and then he started calling people down, and right before people started walking down, he started yelling, "The baptizer is here! The baptizer is here!" Making it just a big theatrical event. And people would come down, to the stage, and he'd put his hand on them, and then they'd start putting their hands up and start flailing, and some people started mumbling. I'm not even going to imitate it, but it was completely incoherent babble. Made me feel very uncomfortable, I will say that. So after this, the service ended. Excuse me. And so I ended up going home. And then when I went home, my wife was pretty much already sleeping, because this was on a Monday night. So I went to bed, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm looking at my doorway for my bedroom, and I see a light around the door frame and the inside, because the door was open a little bit and there was light coming through. And I'm just looking at the doorway, and I see this light start to get a lot more intense and brighter. And I would like look from one side to the other, trying to look into the door frames in the spaces. And as I would look at the side, it would dim out. And so I tried to look just center mass at this point, because after what I had just seen, I wasn't surprised what I was seeing at this point. And then I hear, now, the name that I was given from birth is Jason. So that's the name I heard. I heard Jason, walk through the narrow gate. I'm like, okay, you got my attention. And the light starts getting brighter and then dimming out, and it got to the point where it almost started to spiral. And as I'm watching this happen, it spiraled so fast that the light started to look like a double helix for like the DNA strands. And then it like went away, and I was like, okay. Got up, I went to go to the bathroom, really thinking about what had transpired. I go back to bed, and I ended up going to sleep, and I'm really dwelling on this situation for a couple of days. And so I cry out to Yahuwah, and I tell him, I'm like, I really want to know if I'm on the right path. I said, is this your real name? I don't want to be deceived. I don't want to be the one that you spit out because you say that you don't know me. And I really asked from a very, pure place in my heart. Like I really, really meant what I said. So I said, I'm sorry to ask you, but I asked him, I said, can I just get one more confirmation just so that I know? And well, what I hear is it's written in your hand. And I'm going to show you guys. So I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to make it easy for you to see. So I'm going to put you down for a second. Well, I'm not right-handed, so this one's going to be a little difficult, but I hope you guys can see this, and I'm not going to edit this so you can see this in real time. So I look at my hand, and that's what I see. Now, we know that, his name there's the first, over here. There's the first letter. So, I look at my other hand. Here's what I see. Now, again, I'll make it easier to see if you couldn't quite see it. That's on my other hand. Now, we know that Hebrew language reads right to left, right? So that's my right hand. There's my left. Now, this really touched me pretty deeply, and it helped me realize how, one, he showed me proof what his name is, and he already knew. Now, I'm in my 40s, the early 40s, and he already knew I was going to ask this question. And I never realized this my whole life. But he already gave me the answer to my question before I even was going to ask. Like, that really humbled me. Like, I just... It's so hard for me to fathom how good he is. And I still am speechless. I mean, I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. I still can't even describe it. It's just, it affected me so deeply, and he's just perfect in all his ways. So now another day goes by, and I'm really thinking about this, and so this solidified, you know, the truth that was presented to me, that it is true, because, I mean, you can't get much more confirmed than that for me. So I'm on my way home from work one day, and, you know, a day or two after this, and yeah, I'm getting emotional. I'm talking to Yahuwah, and I'm just letting it out. And this is when he renamed me. I heard him say, Yasin. And my first response is, wow, that's clever. But, I mean, I'm like, okay. And then after that, I hear, welcome to Israel. And that's how I got my name. Now, this is just a little bit of my story. Thank you for listening. Shalom, everybody. Have a great day.